Rise and shine, America! It's time to wash away those dated old terror alert colors and replace them with Fear Fresh. Keep your fear fresh and your embassies closed. There's a little something for everyone in Fear Fresh. Need to spruce up that dirty old NSA spying? Use a little Fear Fresh and spying never looked so good. With Fear Fresh's specially formulated maximum strength fear-mongering, you'll be confident again and back in the spotlight without having to worry about those pesky gray facts. Fear Fresh lets you display the vibrant colors of your imagination, so let that fear shine.
Could be suicide vests or automobile bombs or exploding gerbils or roller coasters on fire or apple pie improvised explosives. There's just no telling.
And when your fashions change, Fear Fresh changes with you. From happy and safer to moody and dangerous. Who says you can't have it both ways? Fear Fresh even brings back those dingy old sweater vests and puts a fresh face on yesterday's fear. And don't forget, Ayman and Nasser love Fear Fresh. How else could two crackpots shut down 21 embassies of the world's most powerful nation just by talking to each other? Remember, Fear Fresh makes it clear we must spy on everyone. Since terror attacks are on the rise since we've been spying on everyone. Fear Fresh. Isn't it time you kept your fear fresh?
Boo.
Are you afraid?
Oh, that's an excellent product.
You know what? I'm so happy I'm so afraid all the time of something that's never going to happen.
Yes, but I'm never sure how scared I'm supposed to be.
Well, remember, according to Stephen Colbert, we're supposed to be afraid last week.
I think we're in condition brown.
We're in condition change our shorts. I'm Darren Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
We're making fun of the NSA. Let's dial Al-Queda. Sound good?
It sounds good to me.
U.S. officials last week claimed they intercepted an immediate specific threat from Al-Queda. That led to a global terror warning and the closing of nearly 24 diplomatic posts around the Arabian Peninsula, the Gulf, and into Africa. On Wednesday, details of how that threat was intercepted was leaked to two defense journalists cozy with the Pentagon, who ran an article in the Daily Beast describing a Legion of Doom conference call between more than 20 al-Qaeda leaders and operatives around the world that was intercepted by U.S. intelligence. Allegedly, al-Qaeda leaders used this conference call to discuss plans for a pending attack. Now, if you think it's a little fishy that al-Qaeda leaders would suddenly begin using global conference calls to plan their attacks, you're not the only one. After the story broke, journalists with the AP, the Washington Post, and the Los Angeles Times immediately cast doubt on it and argued that the government's account of what happened just doesn't add up. But even if it does add up, there's an even bigger problem, which is that a critical intelligence operation against al-Qaeda was leaked, likely putting at risk that entire operation moving forward. And really, isn't that far more damaging to our intelligence communities than anything Edward Snowden has leaked so far? So the question is, why is there no outrage or demand for espionage charges coming from the government today?
So, a lot of credibility.
Yeah, just pointing out some severe facts there or something. You know, the Snowden leak, they should have treated that like the Snowden leak, as if Al-Qaeda is going to do a conference call.
Well, as if, yeah, really.
I mean, I don't even know if Al-Qaeda officially exists.
You know, I think Obama's either on SSRIs or he's got bad advisors or he's not listening to them.
Yeah, okay. But we're listening and the world is paying attention. This clip, okay? Well, make up your own mind. Let's just run it.
I think you can probably see a relationship between the scandal involving the National Security Agency, which has come under intense criticism inside and outside the United States, when Snowden released documents proving that it had been spying and has been spying on millions of ordinary citizens. And this has caused outrage in the United States. So this is a good time to prove, to legitimize the National Security Agency, to prove that it's needed. And what better way of doing it? One way of doing it, of course, is to say, look, the terrorist threat is still very, very much alive. And the Obama administration has decided that if it's going to exaggerate, it's going to exaggerate on the side of security instead of getting caught with another possible attack.
So, you know, the whole world is paying attention. They don't watch Global. They don't watch CNN.
No, because
Okay.
CNN just fearmongers anyway.
Right. And they actually openly mock Fox News as being a national broadcaster in the States. Thank goodness Sun FM or Sun News got cut out of the CRTC. We saw. But remember, until September, you have to lodge a complaint with Ottawa. So we're going to provide those links on our Facebook group at Radio Free Canada, and hopefully you see it coming up on your screen as a YouTube annotation. What do you got for me?
Well, you know, people wonder why the U.S. is involved in this war on terror. Why do people hate them?
Well, why?
Well, maybe this.
Last 2 weeks, drone strikes have pummeled Yemen, here in the Arabian Peninsula. We know there's been at least 9 strikes in the last 10 days, and last Thursday alone, Yemen was hit by 3 drone strikes in one day. 34 so-called militants have been killed in these strikes. However, the administration admits they're not entirely sure who's being killed and what effect it's having. As the Washington Post reported, officials said Tuesday there's no indication that senior Al-Qaeda operatives in Yemen have been killed in the drone strikes. It's too early to tell whether we've actually disrupted anything, a senior U.S. official said. And as American robots rain bombs on a foreign country like Yemen, there's not even an acknowledgement by the President of the United States that this is even taking place at all. Now, this is all in response to that terror threat allegedly gleaned from that Legion of Doom Al-Qaeda conference call. But ask ordinary folks on the ground in Yemen, the only terror they see are robots with bombs stalking the sky. As one Sana'a-based lawyer told the Huffington Post, it's like there are 2 different Yemens, the one that the U.S. and Yemeni government claims is always under a terrorist threat, and the one that we actually live in with drones. It's like they stepped through the looking glass. And we can't know for sure, but estimates suggest that as many as 600 people, perhaps more, have been killed in both confirmed and unconfirmed drone strikes in Yemen. But as Foreign Policy noted this month, for all the strikes and all the dead, Al-Qaeda in the Arabian Peninsula continues to attract more members, growing from 300 in 2009 to well over 1,000 today. In Yemen, the definitions of terrorism have been blurred. Where is the terror coming from? Murky Al-Qaeda conference calls or killer robots stalking the skies? And if there are legitimate terror threats emanating from the Arabian Peninsula, then is our drone bombing campaign there keeping us safe or radicalizing more who want to do us harm? Those are questions for the administration, once it comes around to acknowledging these strikes are even happening in the first place.
So the NSA is not acknowledging that they're spying on people, or now they are actually.
Okay.
And of course they're conducting these drone strikes, which are making more people hate the U.S., so they need to spy on Americans more.
Okay.
Does that make any sense at all?
Well, that's what the official story is. So
I know. It's getting harder and harder to follow all the time.
You know, but if you're a conservative, authority said it, so you're supposed to believe it.
And of course, last week, Obama came out on Jay Leno and said, we don't have a domestic spy program. And then on Friday, announced they're going to have a overview panel for the domestic spy program they don't have.
Well, I hope it's being led up by someone we can trust.
Oh, of course it is.
As far as political conflicts of interest go, this one's pretty bad. Announced Monday, James Clapper will lead the quote-unquote independent review of NSA spying practices that happened under his watch and that he lied about to Congress in March.
Does the NSA collect any type of data at all on millions or hundreds of millions of Americans?
No, sir.
Does not.
Not wittingly.
But of course, the NSA was spying on millions of Americans, collecting phone and internet data. Edward Snowden leaked it, The Guardian printed it, then cue backlash and the White House's recent response.
We're forming a high-level group of outside experts to review our entire intelligence and communications technologies. So I'm tasking this independent group to step back and review our capabilities.
But it won't be much of a step back for Clapper, who has integrated U.S. intelligence gathering between the CIA and NSA since 2010. Reaction from Twitter was swift and snarky. Glenn Greenwald, the Guardian reporter who broke the PRISM story, said only in D.C. would Clapper be allowed to lead the review of the programs he lied about. And the Washington Post adds that the review group's plans have actually changed since Friday. Obama said their group would examine how we can maintain the trust of the people, how we can make sure that there's absolutely no abuse. But Monday's memo makes no mention of preventing abuses. For Newsy, I'm Zach Toombs.
I love the analogy there. Putting the guy in charge of overseeing the credibility, the guy who just lied about them.
Yeah. It's kind of like putting Jeffrey Dahmer in charge of investigating cannibalism in Milwaukee.
Or putting the RCMP in charge of investigating itself for murdering people in the streets.
You know, it's not a conflict of interest there at all.
Oh, wait a second. It's like Enbridge being in charge of the environmental studies for the pipeline.
Oh, yeah, that's a good one.
Ah, that's right. And that's what happened in Canada. However,
this whole NSA spying thing is having not just political repercussions, but economic ones as well.
Philip Zimmermann pioneered the widespread use of encryption software for those using the web. He initially wanted to help dissidents in authoritarian countries avoid government surveillance. His company still offers encrypted phone calls, texts, and teleconferencing, but it's now shut down its email service.
And now we're secure.
The decision came after a rival service posted this message online. My fellow users, I have been forced to make a difficult decision to become complicit in crimes against the American people or walk away from nearly 10 years of hard work by shutting down LavaBit. After significant soul-searching, I have decided to suspend operations. Silent Circle's chief technology officer says as soon as he saw that, he knew it was time for a scorched earth policy. Having erased its customers' data, Silent Circle released this message. Quote, yesterday, another secure email provider, LavaBit, shut down their system lest they be complicit in crimes against the American people. We see the writing on the wall, and we have decided that it's best for us to shut down Silent Mail. We have not received subpoenas, warrants, security letters, or anything else by any government, and this is why we are acting now. The revelations of Edward Snowden and others have given an insight into how the US government pressures internet service providers to give them access to their customers' data. Silent Circle decided it wasn't going to be ordered to hand over customer information, and management feared alerting customers to the impending destruction of their emails would also alert the government, who would then try to seize the information. The implication of both Silent Circle and LavaBit's closure of their email services appears clear. If you're using an internet service provider based in the US, the chances are they've given the US government access to your data.
So this is a pretty big story.
It is, because, you know, these companies make a lot of money.
Yeah.
And now they're going to be suspending these operations. At least they're corporate types who did the right thing.
Yeah, and you know what? It's a heartbreaker. 10 years of hard work that you got to step away from because the NSA are creepy and weird.
Yeah.
Okay, they gotta have their eye on everyone. There's a reason why.
And these programs also carry diplomats' emails as well.
Yeah, so overseas, there's been some backlash.
You think?
Last time we talked about it, it was in Germany. They're totally choked in Germany, but this.
Oh, yes, of course, you know, because John Kerry's making his trips around the world.
Hello and welcome. The US Secretary of State John Kerry has said the latest round of Middle East peace talks should not be derailed by Israel's decision on Sunday to approve well over 1,000 new settler homes. Palestinian negotiators have accused Israel of trying to sabotage the talks, which are due to begin later this week. But speaking in Colombia, Mr. Kerry stressed the need for both sides to return to the negotiating table and focus on talks.
I think what this underscores, actually, is the importance of getting to the table quickly, and resolving the questions with respect to settlements, which are best resolved by solving the problem of security and borders. Once you have security and borders solved, you have resolved the question of settlements.
John Kerry. Well, the Israeli authorities are also preparing to release a group of 26 Palestinian prisoners later today in a gesture meant to open the way towards this renewed round of peace talks, which are due to start tomorrow.
Well, at least things are getting easier as they try to build their empire around the planet.
So that may affect a certain arms sale they're trying to negotiate.
I know. You know, they're stirring up their own pie, but we're here to jump in on their nightmare. I'm Darren Howard.
And I'm Robert Nisbet.
We've got stuff coming up about banksters, but we want you to tune in to the Municipal Sustainability Project because it's important stuff. It's how we start getting our back on our feet again. You're tuned in to Radio Free Canada. Hang on, more to come.